But the relationship with your dad,
Yeah.
like you connected through gaming.
Yeah. And my relationship with my partner was also extended from gaming. Admittedly, it was in-person games that we were talking about, but I wouldn't be with my partner if it wasn't for games. That is a common hobby. And I think the best thing about gaming is that because it is so diverse in the genres that you can play and stuff like that, if you have the same hobby as someone else, if I'm a gamer and you're a gamer, we're going to get on really well.
Welcome to Curious Chats and Kind Acts, the podcast that celebrates difference, kindness, and the little things we can all do to make our world a better place. Join me, your host, Sonia, co-founder of the Axe Charity, for some open, authentic and fun conversations with lots of interesting, extraordinary, everyday people who are all a little bit different. Prepare to have your curiosity piqued and your heart warmed as we explore the ways we can all make a difference in the world, no matter how small. So get ready to be inspired, uplifted and motivated to be the kindest version of yourself. Let's make the world a kinder place, one conversation at a time.
Hello and welcome. How are you doing today? Gaming is a whole new world to me. Well, except for an occasional dalliance with Pokemon Go. Today I'm chatting to Atlantis, who gives me an introduction to this world. There's events where she won £10,000 through to the huge world of online gaming, where people can reinvent themselves and spend hours, even days, getting lost in different worlds. And why? Well, have a listen and find out. What I love is that if you watch a film, you're an observer, whereas with gaming, you can go into that film and change the outcome, whether for the good or the bad, and that is interesting. We cover friendships and how small talk doesn't interest Atlantis and how difficult it is to build genuine community in the real world. Online, you can be who you want to be, look how you want to look, but equally, you can use that platform to build relationships with family and friends. So, can gaming be described as a beautiful thing? Two strangers coming together to play a game, engaging in that moment, then logging off and carrying on with the day. Now, where else in the world does that happen? Have a listen and see if you agree. So, welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so my name's Atlantis Roy, 26 years old. Happy to be here.
Excellent. Hello, Atlantis. I'm just going to get stuck in. Why Atlantis? It's a great name.
Yeah, so obviously we spoke yesterday about it. It's a bit of a twist onto my birth name. For family reasons I won't go into. I decided not to keep the name that was assigned to me, but I didn't want to go too far away from the roots, so
Atlantis.
Yeah.
And is it... I was trying to think about what it actually is. Is it like a fake island?
It's supposed to be like a mythical island. The running joke is that when I lost like my family identity and stuff like that, I was out at sea. So I swam down, lost my name at sea, and then grabbed the first thing I could find, which was the sea. And that's why I picked it. I mean, that's not the actual reason, that's the story.
Yeah, I like a story. So tell us about you growing up. What you want to. This isn't if there's stuff you don't want to discuss. No problem.
I grew up on the Isle of Man, which for anyone that doesn't know is a small island between Ireland and the UK. We grew up there for about 5 years. Then my parents split. Mum brought us over to the UK. We were here for another 6 or 7 years. Went back, finished off my childhood there, and then came back here for university 3 years ago.
And what was childhood like on the island?
So it was okay, quite boring. There's not a lot that's going on the island. It's safe, it's very safe, but in terms of like things to do, it's basically non-existent because they're cutting it all. It's very much becoming like a retirement island is the joke.
Oh really?
Yeah, which is probably why I got into the video games the way that I did, because there wasn't much to do on the island outside of maybe meeting people.
Yeah, because I've played hockey tour on the island a few times and had a great time, but there wasn't a lot. I mean, we were on tour, so it was fine, but there was it Douglas? There was a few bars in Douglas, but other than that...
And every year they close down, and obviously you can't visit bars as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, originally I was very sporty. I was a goalkeeper for my local football team when we played over here, and I did like the basketball... island tournaments and stuff. And my brother really got into sports as well, but at some point we kind of just differentiated, and he went into his rugby, and I went completely out of it and just stopped.
But then if you don't want to play sport and there's limited...
Yeah, it very much felt like you either play sport or you don't. And if you don't, then you need to go find something else to do, and that was usually in the way of board games and board game nights, or it was online gaming.
Okay. And how did a board game night look?
There were different communities, usually in churches, that would pop up on different days, and you just rock in, sign in, and then people bring their own board games and you sit down and play with them.
Oh, that's quite cool. We tried to do a board game at the chapel, but it was board game night, but it just wasn't that well attended. It was...
Yeah, it's very different because, well, first off, the island is tiny. It takes like 20 minutes by bus to get from one side of the island to another, about 15 minutes by car, 10 minutes by car. So you can get anywhere on the island. So people do travel for these things, and I can't understate how lonely people are on the island. So people do travel for these things, or they did travel for these things.
So did you feel quite lonely and isolated as a kid then?
Yes.
Yeah.
I got bullied a lot when I was a kid, so I didn't really have many friends growing up. It also didn't help from the fact that I kept moving school every 2-3 years. So moving from the island to the UK, then I moved twice in the UK, then moved back, and then went to high school not knowing anyone. That didn't help because I didn't have any of those like social circles and stuff, and it very much felt like, I don't know if this is a mentality that passes over to the United Kingdom, but everyone knew everyone in the Isle of Man, so if you weren't part of their clique, it was very difficult to get into their clique. You usually had to know somebody to kind of bridge, and you would get groups that formed together and stuff, but if you weren't in one to begin with, it was just difficult. So yeah, I used to go to the board games, and I ended up playing with adults more than often, yeah, because they didn't mind. But it was actually easier to play with them for some reason.
Why did you move around so much? That's like a lot of...
So that goes a little bit into my family side, which I won't cover too much, but basically I had an alcoholic and abusive stepfather, and he tried to kill my mother a few times. So we moved around for her protection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's scary.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
And did you try and protect your mum as well?
Yes, there's a load of psychological and neurodivergent problems that have resulted because of the treatment that I received during my childhood.
What's happened? What's the outcome of that? Where's your stepdad now?
As far as I'm aware, he went to jail for a little bit, I think, but I don't think anything was done because it was too long ago when my mum got away. So my mum got away from him. But I think she didn't do anything until like 8-9 years later. So they're divorced now. So she has nothing to do with him, completely cut out of his life. I haven't seen him for like 15 years, 14 years, something like that.
But so still had a big impact in terms of you as...
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, how on earth would it not? Blimey, I'm sorry that's happened. So you were moving around because was he like chasing you? Sounds a bit dramatic. That
I don't know the ins and outs of it because obviously I was a kid. The first time we moved to the UK was because of him, because my mum was chasing him and going to get married and stuff like that. And I know that they had a really, really bad breakup the first time, which is why we moved again in the UK. And there was a period in my life where we must have moved house like every 6 months. And I think that's because he kept tracking us down. And I think my mum didn't feel safe because we kept changing entire like cities and stuff like that around the UK. And that was difficult. And then eventually the reason why we moved back to Isle of Man was because I missed my birth dad. And I had like anger management and stuff like that, and I played up. And I think the doctor told her that unless she allowed me to go see my birth father, I'd basically end up hating her for life. So she relented and she came back over to the Isle of Man, and I stayed with him for 2 weeks and really enjoyed it, and then eventually she moved back over so me and my brother could be closer to him.
That's fair dues actually, isn't it? That's quite a big commitment, especially if the island's quite... So it was purely because of your dad, your birth dad, because you're saying I want to go back to that really boring island?
Well, I didn't
didn't
experience
know that,
it.
did you?
Yeah, I didn't know that it was boring. And I just wanted to go see my father. I also had other extended family. Like I had my nan and cousins and stuff that were on the island. In fact, most of my family was on the island except for my granddad. They weren't born there, but they moved over there. Yeah.
Well, now as they're all getting older, they'll all be moving there.
So, my mum was the first to leave the island. Then it was me. My nan was considering leaving, and my brother's the last stubborn one.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you know what though? And I did a bit of work over there as well, and there was a real sense of community.
Yeah.
Which was lovely. But I guess if that's your community, if it's not your community, then
it was a bit of a culture shock moving back to the UK. You know, being older and being able to make those decisions. And what I was most surprised about was how disconnectedly connected everything is in the UK. Like, you have so much choice to go everywhere, which kind of makes it feel like you have too much choice sometimes. It's really difficult to meet new people in the UK, I find, like, unless you're going to specific meets or groups. Like, you very much have to take a lot of onus on yourself, whereas in the Isle of Man, you tended to just fall into things. I don't really know how else to describe it, but you know, you go to the board game nights on Saturday, and then the next thing you know, you'll be invited to parties and the next weekend, and you meet more people, and then they invite you to more parties and stuff like that. But that doesn't really happen in the UK.
It's a little bit more organic, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas in the UK, there's so much structured stuff out there that's almost a route you have to
and
take.
something that extremely surprised me was how a lot of people seem to have friendship groups for certain activities. Like, that's unheard of in the Isle of Man. You have a friendship group and you do everything together. But no, in the UK, it's very much like, no, I have these friends for going out, I have these friends for knitting, I have, you know, these friends for sports and stuff. And I'm like, I can't wrap my head around that.
I've got that.
Yeah.
I think I've got that. Like my hockey mates, and I go out with them. Then family stuff. What else do I do? I don't do much here, the chapel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do have... I guess, though, that's around goes back to community again, doesn't it? And actually, the thing I've got in common with those hockey mates is that we play hockey together. Mm. And then I've got my gym mates, and I go to the gym with them. But I don't ever mix them. I don't know why, really.
No, and it's very much... I don't know if it's like a main islander type of approach or stuff like that, but... Yeah, it probably is due to the community on the Isle of Man. It's like I said, there's not much to do. So when you find people that you vibe with and get on really well with, you're quick to want to keep hold of them and do stuff with them. And I had some really, really strong friendships coming out just before I left the island. And while I do speak to people in the UK and stuff like that, I don't know if I'm ever going to have that level of strength of friendship again. Just because everything seems so segmented.
Are you tempted to go back for those?
No, I do miss it. I miss my friends. I miss what we used to have. But the island is too small and there's nothing to do, and it kind of felt claustrophobic. And just to get away for a weekend, you had to get like a ferry, which was £200, and then go do something in the UK. And if you were leaving the UK, there's more flights and stuff, and it was just a massive hassle to leave. It's not like Chester where you can just get on a train and go to Liverpool for the weekend. And while my social life isn't as nice as the island, I do feel more comfortable now. The fact that I can just do things, and I have a loving partner as well who I met over here, so that might be a contributor to why my social life isn't as busy. So
in a good way, then.
Yeah, in a good way.
So let's go back to the island, to your games. Tell me. So they were face-to-face games, but if you weren't face-to-face, that sounds a bit weird. In real life, I don't know. But when did you get into your online gaming?
I did a mixture of both. I think I probably did online gaming before I did face-to-face. So I want to say I would have been around about 14 when I started. I started quite late compared to a lot of people. Like, I know my little brother, he started when he was about 6 now, because it's just common nowadays. But the first game I played was with my dad, actually, and we were playing Halo 3, and we were originally just playing co-op and going for the campaign together, and then he got the...
Stop. what's co-op and what's campaign.
Okay, so
Just novice.
okay, so co-op is when you cooperatively play together. It can be, usually it was 2 to 4 players back in the day. Halo was up to 4 players, and a campaign is typically the way that they used to build games is that you had a storyline that you played through that was pre-generated. All of the work that they put in together with voice actors and stuff like that, and you would play through that story as a main character, whoever that might be. Online play is different to that in that you're not playing a story. It tends to be quick games, like 20 minutes or less, where you're fighting against other people online, and they usually tend to be quite competitive. Now that's generalising it, because there are as many genres as I can list, and then I probably miss them all. But yeah, multiplayer tends to be online.
And so would this be, I don't know, you and your dad playing against 2 random strangers from Bali?
No, for Halo you tended to play again with each other. So the storyline is that you're basically this super soldier, and Earth is at war with aliens, and you're trying to go through a story and basically help the humans beat the aliens. It's very, very generalised, but that's on principle that's what you do. So the co-op people, you just play as more super soldiers and help each other and stuff. So, you know, if for whatever reason you die in the game and your ally, which in my case was my father, is still alive, and if he gets to somewhere safe, you can respawn on him and then you can keep going, so it makes the game easier, but it's a way for you to interact with each other and stuff.
Even though you're not with each other? Like, because you're playing in different places?
Well, back then you had something called LAN, so you would play in the same room as each other. You'd have split screen, or you could connect your devices together. Nowadays it's very different. It's very much online, yeah. So you can play with people and not be in the same room. But 10 years ago it was a very different story.
And what do you enjoy about that? I know that sounds daft, but to me that doesn't sound fun.
What, like the playing online with people?
Well, the whole going around and shooting and trying to... like, it just seems... Well, it's not real, and I don't want it to be real, because I don't ever want to shoot anyone. I'm just saying, like...
No.
So what is it that gives you pleasure from that?
For me, it's the story.
Right,
like, these are massive, like, 100-hour campaigns that the people, like, entire companies have put 3-4 years of development into, and you can tell because the ones that kind of sit home and the ones that you keep in your memories are the good ones, the ones you can tell have had like a labour of love. And when I was playing that game originally, it was just to play with my dad, but as I played it, something just clicked, and I really liked the story. I really liked the emotion that they put into it. And I also...
How do they put emotion into it? What?
Well, it's like acting in any way. In the same way that you can watch a movie and fall in love with a character, you can play a game. It's a different type of media. The only difference is that when you're watching a movie, you can't influence that media in any way. You're watching something that's pre-rehearsed, has a script, that's following all of that, and there's nothing you can do except for like look at them from an outside perspective. But when you're playing a game, you are playing as the person. You're in the story.
And has that influenced you IRL in real life?
Yes, but not. So my moral system that I operate on has pretty much entirely been is entirely influenced by games, as in like treat people right, try to do the right thing. All of that came from games. All of that came from watching the actions of characters that I've played or characters that I wanted to play. I very often found that I leaned towards hero-based characters when I was playing games, and you have the option to play villains. Like there's a game that's released recently that's called Baldur's Gate 3. In that villain game, you can completely take over the world and dominate a city and stuff like that. And I've just never found that line to be interesting. I always like it when, even though I keep doing the same thing over and over again on replays, I always enjoy it when the NPC on the other end is smiling, and you know that you've helped them in some way, even if it's come like at a financial detriment to yourself in game.
So what do you think that says about you?
couldn't tell you that I don't like seeing people upset. Maybe.
Well, I think that says you're actually a really kind person.
Possibly. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a video game.
But would you say you're a kind person in real life?
No.
Why not?
In real life, I tend to be quite blunt. I tend to tell people what I'm thinking, and not always what they want to hear. So I often get the stigma that I'm quite rude or unempathetic.
I'm just going to flip that back on you right now, because I think if someone is honest, I think that's an act of kindness in itself at times.
Well, I always try to be honest, but it's never... experience tells me that honesty isn't actually what people want to hear, no matter how much they say they do.
Give me an example of that.
Oh God, off the top of my head, I'll give you a really generic one, but say for example, I had friends and they come to me and say, oh, you know, does this dress look nice on me? And I'll say no. I'll say it doesn't look nice on you for X, Y, and Z. Maybe it's like too boxy at the top, maybe it doesn't fit around you, or it's too low in the waist, or something like that. And then eventually, if I say that enough times, then they just stop asking me and they go talk to somebody else that'll tell them, yes, it looks nice and you should buy it.
But would you ever, like, if it did look nice on them...
I'd tell them. You
see, so to me, I'd rather have that, because if you say you like it, it's truthful and genuine. Yeah. Whereas...
I agree. I prefer people that are truthful. But my experience is just that that's not the way the world works.
That's quite sad, really, isn't it? I like your morals there, but in your experience, it's not worked out. So do you modify your behaviour to fit into the world then?
I try. It's very difficult. I get into a lot of trouble for being honest. I'm a teacher, or I'm training to be a teacher, and I got into trouble on my teaching degree for being honest. And there's a lot of times where it feels like, you know, if you did just fit the system, you would coast in life a lot better. So you don't think you fit the system? No. Why? I know I don't fit the system because I have neurodivergence. That I'm aware that I have that, and it's been somewhat diagnosed. And everyone keeps telling me I don't fit the system, so there's that as well. But I think when we say the system, I'm talking more what is the norm as portrayed by media. So if you're in a room where, you know, like you said that you wouldn't mind honesty, if I'm in a place where everyone values that type of virtue, then I am the norm in that group. But society, from what I have experienced, at least in my local scene, very much doesn't like that. They like the platitudes, they like the fakeness, they almost kind of just want to get on to the next thing. You see, I wonder if that's... Have you met your crew, therefore? Do you know what I mean? Because I'd say I've got mates. I was out with some mates last night, on Valentine's night, and we had a proper old debate about... I can't remember what it was, but there was a lot of honesty there going, I don't think that is you. I think I'm disagreeing, I'm challenging you to that. And it was done in love, and you know. But I'd say I was brutally honest with them. Yeah, you definitely have to meet the right people, and once you do, everything kind of falls into place on that side, and it's nice that you have that type of things. It's really difficult to find those people though. And I suppose it takes time. Like he was best man at my wedding. You know, I've known them since I was 16. Yeah. So I guess there's history there and relationship. Yeah, as you said, these are the type of things that you have to cultivate. And I imagine for like every person in that group, you can probably think of 3 or 4 people that maybe mingled a little bit and didn't make it because their identity didn't quite match those. Do you know what I did? So I basically had some... I don't know what it was, mentoring or something, and they talked to me about the onion rings, is what I call them. So in the centre of the onion ring is the people closest to you. You can't have many people in there. So for me, it's my family, my wife, and then you get a little bit out there
next kind of layer of onion would be the people, Amanda and Nick, who I was out with last night. So my best mate over in Nottingham, Joe. So again, you can't have too many in this one, but they're not in your inner circle. You're not spending a lot of time with them, but they're really important in your life. Then you have the next layer, which for me is hockey, maybe the chapel, things like that. And then you've got the outer layer, which is community. And when I say community, I mean like people that you might do stuff with occasionally, but you're not really good friends with. They're just people you know. And what I did as part of this exercise is I looked at where everyone was in my life, and then I thought, right, well, I'd like them to be closer. And so I spent and invested time in that relationship so that I'd get to know them better. And there were a couple of people that were called Hoovers, some theory, I can't remember what it was, who you go and spend time with them and you're just exhausted after.
Yeah.
And so I moved them a little bit. It's not that I fell out with them, I just didn't like invest that time in them.
No, it makes sense because everybody has like a different level of compatibility. You find that I get very, very tired when I have conversations with people and I feel like they're disinterested or disgenuine, or one of the things that I often get told is like when I speak to people, I kind of like speaking quite like from the heart, and we get onto like very deep conversations very quickly and stuff, and that for me is a sign of a good,
I love that.
Yeah, a good conversation, a good relation
anymore.
But then when, you know, the small talk of how was your day, oh nice weather, what did you get up to on the weekend, that tires me out very, very quickly, and I try and avoid it as much as possible. But then there's like you said, if you want towards the outer layer, it's very difficult to get past that.
And nor should you with everyone.
No.
Sometimes there's a place for that.
Yeah, and you
chit-chat.
have your close friends, and I think those are the people that you should focus your attention on. For me, that's my partner and a couple of people, not many, like you said. And those are the people I enjoy spending time with. And if I'm not playing online games, then they're the people I tend to spend my time with. And then everyone else, you know, if you make your way into my inner circle, you do. But
so where do you think the online gaming sits within my little theory? I don't know where it does.
So for yourself or for myself?
For you, like,
for
where
me,
would, because I don't online game. I'm going to have a go now. You've convinced me.
It would probably be one of the outer layers if we're being honest. I probably actually spend more time with my online friends than I do with my close friends in real life. However, the relationship I have with them is much more superficial than the ones I have with my close friends. If I'm having issues, I'd quite happily go talk to some people close to me. Would not talk to the people I play with online about. And we do meetups and stuff like that. So we did a Manchester meetup a couple of months ago where I met them for the first time in person. It was all controlled and safe and stuff. But it just goes to show that, you know, being in this online community for a year and we've only met once and stuff.
And how many hours a day are you spending with this community?
It depends. When I'm teaching, it can go as low as like 2-3 hours depending how much time I have. But on the weekends when I haven't got anything planned, it can easily go up to like 12 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. I spend a lot of time online.
When do you eat? Do you just have snacks lined up on your
I
desk?
often forget to eat, much to my
What's
partner's.
the longest stint you've done where you've not had a wee break or a snack?
I have accidentally gone 2 days without eating because I forgot. The longest break I would say was probably about 6 hours, and then I stood up and went, oh no, I have something to adjust.
And is that just because you're so absorbed in the game?
I have ADHD, so when I'm focusing on something, I often forget to check on everything else.
Wow, that's mad.
Yeah. Yeah. Hyperfixation is a wonderful thing.
And is it like, do you not get bored?
Not really.
What's keeping you entertained for that long? You're so invested in that emotional side of the story.
No, when I get bored of one game, I can just turn another one on.
I suppose so.
Yeah, if I'm bored of being a hero in a fantasy world, then I can go be a detective in another game. If I'm bored of that, I can go be a superhero. If I'm bored of that, I can go be a merchant. If I'm bored of that, I can go build a city and be a city planner. If I'm bored of that, I can go be a Formula One racer.
And do you do lots of games in a day, or?
It depends on my moods. Towards the weekend, I tend to jump between 2-3 games, but when I'm doing like late night gaming and stuff, I'll stick to one game for 4 or 5 hours and just play that.
Do you ever regret it the next day?
There are some times when I wonder, like, what could I be doing with my life if I wasn't spending so much time playing games? Because I'm quite... I feel like I want to start my own YouTube channel and practice. I do some card game tournaments, which is a physical in-person game, and I'm quite good at that and stuff, and I really should be practicing for that more, because you can win quite a lot of money. I won 10 grand.
Oh!
Yeah, from going to Paris.
Just stop right there. What? So, start again. So there's a game that's to do with cards, like, as in normal cards?
As in, like, cards, yeah.
What's it called?
It's called Lorcana. It's Disney's IP. You basically play as characters from their IP, and they've
What's
got, like...
IP?
I don't know the official word, but their franchise,
Right, so there's a card game that Disney have invented.
Yes, it's hosted by Ravensburg, and yeah, it's the cards have stats on them, costs, and a time mechanic, and it would take too long to explain on here, but there are rules that you have to follow, and everyone's following the same rules, and you can put different cards in the deck, and that changes how your deck plays, and you go against other people, and it's a one-on-one format, so me against you, for example. And we'll play the best of 3, so there'll be 3 games, and then whoever wins 2 out of those 3 is deemed the winner.
So you got quite good at this.
I got quite good at this.
How does it go from quite good to winning 10k in Paris?
So it only released about a year and a half. I think it was towards the end of 2023, so about a year and a half ago. And after about 9 months of the game being released, they started to release these things called challenges, which are these 2,000 player events that people travel across the world to go to. So there was, I think, 5 in America, 1 in Canada, 1 in Australia, and then there was 3 in Europe and 1 in the United Kingdom. I only went to 2 last year. I would have liked to have gone to a lot more, but financially it just wasn't feasible for me.
Well, until you'd won one.
Yeah, well, we were actually in a lot of debt at that point, and I ended up just putting all of that money towards clearing it, which was really, really nice. Yeah, so there were
2,000 people at this event?
2,000 people at the event.
And you won it?
I didn't win it.
Oh, that's not even winning it?
No, I didn't win it, yeah.
How much did the winner get?
Like 40k, 50k.
Wow.
Yeah. So the way that they did it is you had these 2,000 player events, and it was a 2-day event. We were there for about 10 or 11 hours on the first day playing games. You had to play 9 games, which could go up to 27 if you played all 3 rounds in each game. And depending on the amount of points you got, the top 2% of the playing field got invited to a second day where you competed again to try and beat the best players in the room. And that one was elimination, and if you beat your opponent you went on to the next bracket, and if you beat them again you went on to the next bracket. I got quite far, but missed the bracket where you get invited to like a more private tournament. But the cards that they gave me, because rather than give you cash, they gave you cards, like promo cards that you can't get anywhere else. You have to go to these massive tournaments. And so, like I said, there was 2,000 players that went to this tournament, and only 32 players got a foil card that I got.
And that's worth 10 grand.
And that was worth 4 grand by itself. The one before that was worth like 2.5 grand. The one before that was worth like 1,200. The one before that was worth like 600, because they staggered the prizes. And so the more rare a prize got, the more people in the secondary market paid for it. And I mean, it helps that it's Disney's IP and people are in love with the characters and stuff like that.
So you basically got a load of card that was shiny,
yeah,
and sold it for 10 grand. A combination of them for 10 grand.
Effectively.
I mean, that's insane, isn't it? When the card's probably worth 4p.
Yeah, it doesn't cost them much to print it.
How clever are Disney?
Yeah. There's a lot of people that are coming to the game because the prizes. There's a tournament in March, and so 3-4 weeks from now that I'll be going to, which is in the UK. That one's a private tournament. It's not run by Disney, and the grand prize for that is a £2,500 journey to Japan for you and one other. So if I win that one, I think that's like a 200-person tournament, so it's not as many people. But like, yeah, there's money to be made in this, and then every 3 months you have set champs, and I go around to like Liverpool and Wrexham, and I'm the I tend to win most of these tournaments, these kind of small scale tournaments, like 30 or 40 people. And if you win these tournaments, you get a playmat and a promo. The playmat's worth like £200. The promo's worth like £100.
So you just instantly sell all of those?
Yeah, I just go to each one, and every 3 months I'll make like, if I'm like really lucky, I'll make about £1,500 every 3 months, and then I just sell that, buy more cards, get ready to do it all again.
So you reinvest in better cards, do you? Or
yeah, I try to collect every single card in the collection, so it's 224 cards every collection, and those are released every 3 months. I need 4 of each, because you can have up to 4 in a deck. So I end up buying something like 892.
And how much does that cost you?
Too much.
I was going to say.
Too much.
Disney are clever, aren't they? I go back to Disney being clever.
It can easily cost maybe £1,000, £1,200 every 3 months to keep on top of it.
So you're actually making a loss here.
I don't see it that way.
No, but you're having fun at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a hobby like any other hobby, and you invest in it. Yeah. I don't do this as a job. Like I said, teaching is my main job. But I just really like the way the game plays and stuff. And if I can make money on the back of it, then I can make money on the back of it.
Wow, that's brilliant. I digress, but what a digression. So, let's talk about. The other thing I want to explore is. Tell me about your partner. How did you meet?
So it's a bit of a romantic story.
Even better.
So my partner is originally from America, and he came over when Trump got elected in office the first time. His parents are British, and they were over there for, I think it was 8 years, but I could be wrong. When Trump got elected, they went, nope, we're not having this, and they came back to the United Kingdom, and he came with them. He was on a narrowboat for 3 years and COVID hit, so he didn't see anyone for those 3 years. Eventually got off the narrowboat, came to Chester and settled down, and then, again, didn't see anyone for the next year while he was working at B&Q. One of his colleagues invited him to come to a game night. Now, his colleague didn't show up. So he came to the game night by himself. It was his first time coming to Chester by himself, and he was getting ready to leave because he wasn't enjoying it. He wasn't like connecting to anyone or anything, and he was at the door ready to leave. Cue my entry. I had also just moved over from the island because I was doing my second year in university, and I was supposed to meet up with a group of girls, and we were going to go out drinking. And I very quickly realised I was too old for this group. They were like very clearly like 16, 17-year-olds with makeup, skimpy dresses and stuff, and that's just not my crowd. And I went, nope, and I organised the meet-up. They didn't know what I looked like. I was walking past them, and I saw the entire group, and I just kept walking. I just decided I wasn't going to stop. So I walked into town trying to figure out what I was going to do with my night, because I wanted to make sure that I didn't just like regress and go back to staying in all of the time. And I came across the geek store, and I went inside to see what was happening, and they were having a show and tell and stuff like that. And again, I wasn't really enjoying it either, so I was getting ready to leave, and as we were going to leave, we bumped into each other. And then you know, we were talking about some stuff, and I was like, oh, you know, how you doing? Making small talk and stuff like that, just trying to be polite before
You're making the effort now, aren't you?
Yeah, before we tried
small talk now.
Before we tried to leave. And then for some reason, I decided to just make a bet with him. I don't know why. Just spur of the moment, I made a bet with him, and we picked a game nearby and decided, like, trying to see who would win. And I won. I'm proud to say I won. Of course I did. But he wondered how I knew that it was going to happen, and then we got into a conversation of the game, and I used to play in tournaments for that game and stuff like that, and I explained it, and he got quite interested in that side. And then the next thing we know, we were just talking to each other, and 5 hours had passed. And we don't really know where that time went. We just know that we are enjoying each other's company, and then we're kind of getting ushered out the door because the store was closing. We were like, oh, okay. Didn't realise it was so late. It was like 11 o'clock at night at this point. So, and again, I don't know why I did this, but as we were leaving, I decided to give him a hug. I don't normally do that, but I decided to give him a hug. I guess I just really liked him. And we agreed to meet up the next day for food and coffee. and then we proceeded to meet each other every single day for 2 weeks. Yeah. And then we started off as really, really good friends. We spent so much time together. He actually asked me out multiple times, but I mean, you're gonna laugh at me at this, but I consider myself to be like a lesbian. I like women. I don't like masculine men or anything like that. I don't like men in any capacity. So I actually rejected him like the first 4 times, and he got really upset about that. He understood, but obviously he was upset because he really liked me. And then at some point, I kind of realised that we were already in a relationship with each other, and I considered like my preferences and stuff, and I realised like him being a guy wasn't enough of a reason not to go out with him because I liked him too much.
Yeah.
And then we started dating, and that was 3 years ago. And now we're thinking of getting married.
And had you been in a relationship with a guy before?
No, this is my first time.
Because I'm the same, but the other way around.
Yeah.
But how did you find it?
Very weird at first. Like there was a lot of things that you have to get used to. Like the type of relationship is different, and obviously there's an animal.
Yeah.
Or however you say the word. There's differences.
Different bits kicking about.
Yeah, exactly. And that's still like a source of discomfort for me sometimes because I don't like those parts. But it doesn't put too much of a strain on our relationship. We both just respect that that's something that's never going to be the focus.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're getting on really, really well, and I don't know if you caught it, but we're actually thinking of getting married and stuff like that. So
that's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, that's ace. And do you know what though? How mature? Like, because you're like, yeah, I love this guy, and even though he's a guy, it's the person that I'm in love with. And you know, like, because I always think about people who are in a relationship, and then one of them wants to transition. And I just think, oh, how hard must that be for the person who's not transitioning? But it clearly works because people stay together, and it's like, well, actually, I love that person, irrelevant of...
Yeah, I fell in love with his personality. He's incredibly loyal and incredibly sweet and goofy, and he always brings a smile to my face. And, you know, whenever I'm upset or anything like that, he'll drop everything to come cheer me up and stuff. And yeah, you're just... He's the type of person that you read about in fairy tales, and it's like a 1 in a million. And it just, how foolish could you be to give that up over a prejudice?
Yeah, it's a prejudice. Is it a prejudice?
Well, a prejudice, preference. Like, I think people have like, this is the perfect partner, but you never have the perfect partner.
I can tell you now, but
yeah, you build it, or at least I'm experienced from what I'm understanding is that you build it, and
yeah. Is it a prejudice though? I'm thinking about that. Because I would have definitely said I was straight.
Yeah.
And I'd only been in relationships with men. And in my head, I'd have married a man, had 2 little kids just like me and my sister, and then fell in love with Joy, who was a single parent with 4 little kids. Mm-hmm. That wasn't not.
It's not on the game plan. No.
But was that prejudice? I don't think it's prejudice. I think you're right around you have a fixed view because of societal norms. My view was probably influenced by that as to what to expect from a relationship.
Yeah, I mean, mine... prejudice might be the wrong word, because obviously mine was going from the other side of like being a lesbian and going to the straight. So that's like going away from norms into norms. So it's a different case in yours.
But was that something around identity though? Because you quite liked being... Well, I don't believe any of us are normal.
No,
but...
I don't. I don't think so. Like I didn't care that my partner was a woman or my ex-partners were women. I just like women.
When did you first decide you preferred women?
Very, very quickly. Like when I was growing up, I found boys to be brutish and closed off with their feelings and stuff.
Was that tricky on the island? Because I can't imagine the LGBTQIA scene was rampant.
It was not rampant. It was very, very closeted. So if you knew people, which I mean, going back to the podcast, it seems like to be a recurring issue. You needed to know people in the island to get in on anything. But yeah, so there wasn't. And at least initially, there wasn't a very easy avenues to get into.
How did you meet your first woman in such a closeted environment?
Just through school.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was quite organic. Life is very organic on the island. You just meet people. It's not bad. LGBT community, even though it wasn't like out and proud on the island. It is now, but it wasn't back then. They were still like one of the first places to legalise like gay marriage in the world and stuff like that. So they've always been quite progressive.
You should have been out on the hockey tour. You'd have. Anyway, the reason I got onto all of that is why. How's your partner? If you're gaming for 12 hours a day, how's he doing with that? Does he like plug in and join in, or?
We used to play together a lot. Then his job, he works quite unsociable hours. So he has Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday off, which doesn't really work for me because I'm working Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday as a teacher. And then he works Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. And his Saturday and Sunday shift is from 10 o'clock in the morning to 7 o'clock at night. And he doesn't get home until like 8:30. So I don't see him at all on the weekends, which is when I'm off. So there's a lot of time where we don't really get to exist in each other's orbits outside of like the crossover. So he doesn't mind that I play games a lot. There was a bit of, I guess, conflict in the sense of when he has a week off or I have a week off. Like I said, I tend to get quite lost in my games. And there was a point in our relationship where he was feeling not completely neglected, but he was starting to feel like the elements of it. It took me a while to realise something was wrong, and I went to talk to him and he said that I basically like wasn't spending enough time with him and stuff. And he's completely right, I wasn't spending enough time with him. So what we started doing is when we have those opportunities to be around each other, we have like a day where I completely disconnect and we just hang out with each other, watch movies and stuff. We'll have a day where we play games together, like those co-op games that I was talking about. Well, we'll go pick story games from our childhood that we want to share with each other, and then we alternate. So I pick my one, go through it, and then the next day we'll like pick his and go through it. And then the other day, the third day when we've got the crossover, is that we'll both completely disconnect from each other and just do our own things online and kind of take that space.
It's a relationship, isn't it? It's always about compromise. I love it. Yes, you've made it work. So getting on to kindness. Have you got any examples of throughout your journey where people have been really kind?
So online gaming can have it can go either way. People can be really, really kind, or they can be really, really hostile. And you very much need to be careful. If you're in a competitive game, they will be hostile most of the time. Yes. It's really, really bad. And it's why I think that gaming probably should be regulated in some way, because, like I said, people like my kid brother, who is only 13 years old, I know he experiences the same thing that I experience going through these games because I'm playing the same games as him. And you'll get people calling you like the N-word online and other racial slurs and stuff just because they're angry at you, either because you're beating them or because your team's not winning and they're saying that you're at fault rather than them. So there's definitely a dark side of gaming, and I'm not going to try and cover that up. But there's also the good side. This is a bit of a weird case, but like hasn't happened to me personally, but I have seen it having been part of like an extended community where people have like died from cancer and stuff like that, but they've put that much of an impact on people in the community that they've all come together and funded like initiatives to help the family members out, or to go research treatment and stuff like that. And just stories like that are really nice to hear. And then you have the smaller things of like you're new to a game and you don't really know what's happening, and somebody will gladly go spend 4 hours of their time, their gamer thing, to go basically do nothing to their benefit, help you out, get you used to the game, and then they'll say bye and never meet you again.
Wow.
And they don't even think twice about that because someone did it for them.
Have you done it for someone?
Yeah.
That's great. That's like paying it forward almost,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's a really nice way to put it. It's like paying it forward. And I think, I mean, it has a direct benefit as well, because if you make somebody feel welcome in your game and then they make someone feel welcome in your game, you've got more people playing the game, so it stays up for longer, gets more people paying for it. Because if these games don't have people playing or paying, they'll just shut the servers down.
Oh, you have to pay for it? Well, I suppose of course
you don't have to. A lot of games are free to play, and then you pay in the way of like buying cosmetics and stuff like that, and it tends to be that it's like maybe 10% of the community pays for the rest of the community because they're buying cosmetics for themselves. so that they can look good.
Cosmetics.
Cosmetics, yeah.
So like makeup.
Like outfits for your characters in game and stuff. Mounts.
So you're given a bog standard overall, and if you want to pimp it up to pink, you've got to pay.
Yeah, usually. It's getting really bad recently because
I can imagine you like pimping up your outfit.
Yeah, I am one of those people.
So the final thing we always finish with in the podcast is 3 like takeaway bits that we can, because I think some of what the podcast is trying to do is say that actually we're all different, and that's really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of, I'd say from a gaming perspective, what 3 things can we all do to make you feel more included and not normal? That's a double not.
So I actually think they're already happening. Like, gaming is getting so much more popular than it used to be. But before my time, there was very much a stigma that if you played games all day, you were like a basement dweller. And I'm sure you've seen like the pictures of bald men, fat men in the basement playing games with Doritos and stuff on their chest and stuff. But it's not like that anymore. Everybody is going to experience gaming in some way, whether or not it's like the Candy Crush app on your phone, or the PlayStation controllers, or the more personal computers and that type of thing. Like you'll be experienced to gaming at some point in your life going forward, and I don't think it's going anywhere. And I think it's getting accepted a lot more as well as a result of that. Like, there's definitely a huge market for it.
But is there anything as society that would make it better?
I don't think we need to.
Okay.
I think we're at a point where it's pretty well accepted. The only issue, I guess, is that there's maybe still a stigma that it's for people that are antisocial or loners and stuff like that. I guess that's where we could focus, of just overcoming that stigma. But from my experience, that people that play games, especially that make it like a main hobby and stuff like that, they're some of the people that have the best communication skills, because they have to. Because they have to talk to people online all the time and stuff like that. They usually have great admin or IT skills, because they're processing loads of information, and then they can apply that in like real world.
And do you think it's helped? Did you say you're ADHD?
Yeah.
Do you think it's helped you on that journey, the gaming? Because you had a community.
No, my ADHD doesn't really become the focus or anything like that. I'm not, when I play games online, I'm not looking to kind of put myself on the platform for people to look at and scrutinise or anything like that. I'm just there to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just there to have fun.
It's just your hobby, isn't it? It's just what.
And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you've got going on or what I've got going on. If we're both enjoying the same game, that's, at the end of the day, that's all that matters, is that we're just enjoying it and spending time, and then we log off and come back the next day.
It's quite a beautiful thing, that. I'm trying to think, where else in the world does that happen? Where for that moment in time, 2 strangers are having fun together.
Yeah. For
that period, it will never be repeated. It can never be repeated.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of.
Yeah.
And then you just leave.
Yeah.
Like, where else in what other plane can that happen?
You're constantly meeting new people and constantly having to like.
But you're engaging. Like, you could say, oh, if we go to the cinema together, but we're just sat there.
Yeah.
Or you go to a gig.
Yeah.
You're just singing it. But this is an interaction of anonymous people that then just go away and I love it.
Like you said, that there is no comparison, and the idea that you are alone or that you're not really socialising or anything like that couldn't be any further away from the truth when it comes to online gaming.
So I'm going to say my 3 things. I'm winging this a bit here. So first of all, it's that unique opportunity to have fun with a total stranger safely, together, have that contact, that interaction, and then move away is 1. Number 2, what I really liked, which is the bit I'm probably excited about, is that rather than watching a film, you can be in the film and direct what happens and influence what happens, for the good or bad, and for me, I'd probably be more like you. I'd be there helping everyone, not trying to take over the world, but I'd probably have a go at that just to see what it felt like. So there's those 2, and then what's the 3rd one there? I like 3.
You can build relations online.
Yeah. build relations, social skills.
My best friends would not be my best friends without online gaming, because we played online games all the time together.
And that's a way of connecting when you're not together all the time.
We can go back to those examples that we mentioned earlier of two people playing as those strangers that connect, and then they connect again, and they connect again, and then the next thing you know, 5 years later, they're married. That these things happen, and they're not uncommon. Then they're not like, oh, this only happens to one person every now and again. No. This is. I'm not going to say that it's going to happen to everyone. I'm not going to say that it's super common that it happens every day, but it happens more than you think. I'm
adding a fourth one, which is very rare for me, right? But the relationship with your dad.
Yeah.
Like you connected through gaming.
Yeah. And my relationship with my partner was also extended from gaming. Admittedly, it was in-person games that we were talking about, but I wouldn't be with my partner if it wasn't for games. That is a common hobby. And I think the best thing about gaming is that because it is so diverse in the genres that you can play and stuff like that, if you have the same hobby as someone else, if I'm a gamer and you're a gamer, we're going to get on really well most of the time. Like if we have other interests and stuff, we're going to get on really, really well with each other, because we have a reason to keep being around each other. Whereas hockey, you need to go play hockey, or you need to be talking about hockey, and that's like a big investment. For gaming, we both just log on at 9 o'clock at night in our own comfort and play for as long as we want. Log off the next day.
And because what I am digressing a bit here, but like, so I really like kick-ass sci-fi-y. I read some weird shit books and films, whereas Joy and I, when we sit down and watch telly together, which is our way of connecting in the evening, she loves dross, like these reality shows. And so it's very rare that we find programmes that we both like together. How could that be solved in gaming world?
Well, you tend to hang out with the people that enjoy the same sort of genre of games as you, but I guarantee that you and your partner would have an aspect that you both enjoy that overlaps, and you just go play a game that makes that the main focus.
It's going to be setting a challenge for myself now.
So for me and my partner, we're going through Halo at the minute, and we're going to do Gears of War. And for us, it's just that we both want to work together to overcome an obstacle. That is what we want to play as together. And so the characters we play help each other to overcome bosses or platform puzzles and stuff like that. We've played things like It Takes Two, where you cannot proceed in the game until, like, say for example, there's a lever that your partner has to pull so that you can go through a door, and pull a lever so that they can come through the door. And there's like little challenges like that where you have to work together to get on. No one person can do it, and we love those type of games.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do a Valentine gaming night. It's what I'm going to do.
I'd recommend It Takes Two then.
It Takes Two. Yeah. Game on. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah, it's only 2 players, but it's a really good co-op game. If you like puzzles and stuff like that, it's really good.
I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Is there anything else that you thought of that you wanted to mention? Or?
No, I don't think so.
Excellent. Well, that's been fun. I really enjoyed that.
Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Curious Chats and Kind Acts. It was lovely to have you. Can I just say a massive thank you to all the people that we've interviewed who have been so honest and vulnerable with me, so that we can have these real life stories to share with you, our wonderful listener. And remember, we'd love to hear what random or small acts of kindness you've been up to, so that we can maybe do a few. Find us on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, and all our /ActsGB, that's ACTSGB. And drop a comment on our feed, tweet us, or even send a photo. Let's build our kindness community together. We'll read some of our favourites on future episodes of Curious Chats and Kind Acts. And you never know, we might even have a go at a few of your ideas ourselves. Watch this space on the socials. For more information about the Axe charity, including how to donate to us, head to axonline.uk. See you next time!